We are 1 week away from Thanksgiving, and this video is for those who are struggling financially. And if you are worried you have nothing to do for Thanksgiving, and you don't want to be depressed, but rather you want to figure out what to do even though you're financially struggling, I wanted to give some practical words of encouragement, inspiration, and tell you what you could do right now if you have free time. What things you could buy at the grocery store for about $50 to make yourself a festive Thanksgiving and not be emo and depressed. You know, you don't have to be rich to have a good Thanksgiving. You know, if you're feeling like Mickey Mouse over here, all sad and, you know, really, really depressed, you don't have to do that. Find yourself $50 somehow. I don't know, ask some friends or family, or hopefully you have some savings and you have $50 to spare. I'm going to show you a really good grocery list on what you could get to treat yourself and have a decent Thanksgiving. Now, before I show you what you could get for yourself on to prepare for Thanksgiving dinner, what I do want to tell you is you should take the holidays for time for yourself, so you could mentally take a break, but also just reflect. I think reflection is the key word for holidays. You don't have to do anything actionable. You know, if you're unemployed, you don't have to go on Indeed on Thanksgiving. Okay, that is like, take a break, sit down, put on Netflix, watch a movie, and then just reflect on what happened in the last 12 months that led you here. Maybe things were out of your control, but what is in your control? You know, if you're mentally going on a downward spiral, what could help you mentally so you could keep going, so you could find that light at the end of the tunnel? You know, when you're in the tunnel, you don't have to be super happy. All you have to do is have enough energy and willpower to get through to when the light shines. That's all. No one's asking you to be happy in a dark tunnel. The key thing is to have enough spiritual energy and enough willpower and enough ambition to get out of the tunnel. You don't have to be happy through it. You have to just get through it, and then you could be happy. Alright, but anyways, that was just a quick little side conversation I wanted to have with you. But let's go to grocery shopping. Okay, so the budget is like $40 to $50. All right, this is practical advice here for people who are struggling financially before Thanksgiving. Okay, the first thing you want to do is go to a cheap, affordable grocery store. Stay away from the Whole Foods. Stay away from the Trader Joe's. Stay away from the Sprouts. You know, that's for people who have steady jobs. What you want to do is go to your discount store. But I think a good place is Food for Less. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna go get is elbow pasta. You could get elbow pasta. You can see the price right here, $3.50 for 32 ounces. All right, that's $3.50 plus tax is probably $4. You want to get yourself that, and then you want to get yourself a block of sharp cheddar block cheese. All right, you don't want to get the slices. You want to get the big block. Sharp cheddar cheese, $5. So we're at, I don't know, we're at a little less than $10, right? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna make your mac and cheese. Okay, I don't know if you know this, but cheese is like the savior of poverty, because you could put cheese in anything and it tastes amazing, but it'll fill you up too. And I think if you're financially struggling for Thanksgiving, the go-to meal to cook this year would be a really good mac and cheese. And trust me, even though this is simple, you melt that block of cheese in a pot, you throw the elbow pasta in, a little bit of seasoning, some milk, and it's going to taste amazing. Alright, so there you go. You got one meal down here. Now, I'm not including the seasoning and the milk. All you really do need is the cheese and the elbow pasta. Alright, and hopefully you have milk in the fridge already. But if you don't, just adjust the list accordingly. Alright, so again, we got the elbow pasta, the block of sharp cheddar cheese. Next up, we got the tomato soup for $1.25. Alright, you got almost 11 ounces of tomato soup for less than $2. All right, this, and for the sake of the list, I did two. You see two added. You should get two of them, just to ensure you can fill yourself up. So you got mac and cheese, tomato soup. There you go. It's honestly, it's almost impossible to be depressed when you have a bowl of mac and cheese or really good sharp cheddar and like a hot steaming bowl of pasta. Think about it. Thanksgiving Day, you got the whole weekend off because you don't work probably. Boom, you spent like $6 on so far on what I showed you. You're already having a good time. All right, don't worry about your problems. Next up, well, boom, you wanna, I'm not advocating for alcohol for dealing with your problems with alcohol. Now, if you have a problem with alcohol, replace this with sparkling water. All right, disclaimer. But I think most people are okay to drink some alcohol. It's Thanksgiving. It happens once a year. So get yourself what is this? A 12-pack of some 805 or whatever you like. You like Modelo, whatever. But $20, splurge a little bit. Boom. You could drink a few beers, have some mac and cheese and tomato sauce, tomato soup. Once a year, forget about your problems, reflect, and plan the day after about what you should do about your life. But, you've been stressed out for like the last 12 months. Have Thanksgiving off, right? All right, get yourself a pack of beer. I will give you permission if you don't have a prior problem with alcohol, I will give you permission to get this. This is your message. This is your sign to buy alcohol. All right, next up, butter. Boom. You need the butter for the mac and cheese. I forgot to mention that for the mac and cheese. But the butter is also for the next item I'm going to show you. All right. Now, this is bougie butter. So if you're really, really broke, go ahead and get the, can't believe it's not butter, which is a lot cheaper. But I think Thanksgiving, you want that real Irish butter that you see here. All right, let's go. Next, boom. You want that fresh baked bread. So what you're going to do is, I'm sure you see the picture here, right? $2. It's not bad. You get one loaf of bread. Put the butter on it, right? Dip the butter and the bread in the tomato soup, and then you eat the soup with the mac and cheese. And then as you're reflecting and eating this hearty, cheesy, soupy meal, you know what you're doing? You're sipping on beer. You're sipping on beer and you're watching Netflix. Maybe not Netflix because Netflix is expensive, so maybe you're watching a stream. Let's just say you're watching a stream that you're not necessarily paying for. Wink, wink. But anyways, all right, after the loaf of bread, you want to get a rotisserie chicken because you need some protein. You can't afford a turkey. A turkey is like $30, to be honest. You got to cook it. No, you're poor. You don't have time for that. $9 for a pre-made rotisserie chicken. You're going to devour this thing. Not only is it delicious, this thing got like 80 grams of protein. Boom. Everything's set. All right. What do I have here? Oh, yeah. See, you could be like this, but once you do this grocery shopping, you'll be a lot happier. All right, because you know what? Let me show you. So here's all the prices for all the items I added. And I pre-calculated this, give or take a few cents or a few dollars. Okay. $47. All right. So you want to include tax? Let's just say, I don't know how much tax is in your state, but rounded up is $50. Okay. So if you have around 40 to 50, you could have a decent Thanksgiving. Now, hopefully you have family to go to and stuff, but I'm making this video for everyone out there who is struggling financially and they think they have to be depressed or sad. You don't have to do it. You don't have to do that. If you could just find about $50, you go to Food for Less, you can have a really good time. And yeah, this could be your Thanksgiving. You don't have to be depressed, Have a good time. Even though if you're financially broke, you're on your low, take the day to reflect, enjoy yourself, because at the end of the day, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. You just got to keep going. Don't give up. Let me know in the comments below what you think about my poverty Thanksgiving dinner shopping list. If you think it could be better, let me know how. If you ever had a really depressing Thanksgiving, let me know how it went. and share your story. And if you have other tips, share it in the comments below, because you never know who's watching these videos. Who these videos might be saving people. It might be giving people some really practical advice, and just letting everyone know out there that you're not alone, and there's plenty of people that are feeling down, because seasonal depression is a real thing. Look it up. You're not alone. Know that. Get that Thanksgiving dinner and conquer. Alright, subscribe for more random videos, and I'll see you in the next